Hey, how y'all doing, man? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Hold on, I know my face is kind of shiny. That's the light, actually. But yeah, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. All right, so I just want to say thank y'all for correcting me in the comments so much. I appreciate y'all, man. Sometimes I be doing things too fast and I don't see it. My eyes are really bad. My eyes are bad. My eyes are bad. Sometimes I be seeing stuff and then listening. So somebody corrected me in the comments. Say, "Oh, you spelled cryptic wrong." And I said, "Oh shit," and I got on there and I corrected it. But thank y'all. Today's episode, I want to talk about there's this video that I seen. The dark psychology, or there's a dark shift in Kendrick, and I want to see what he has to say about this. So yeah, you already know what it is, man. Thank y'all for joining me. Let's get it. Yeah, man, I can't wait to go back to the beach. I'm changing that. I look like a lazy bum. I look crazy. You know what I'm saying? I look crazy, but still looking good though. All right, so look, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. If you want to leave a donation, thank you for all the donations too. If you want to leave a donation to support the channel, it's right there on the screen. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's not that big of a deal. Also too, yeah, man. I got a lot going on, man. I got a lot going on. Let's just say, I got a award ceremony coming up January 1st. Make sure you're here for that. January 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Tuesday coming up, I'm going to be doing a 50 greatest R&B female battle. We starting that off, so that's gonna go on for weeks. So make sure you're here for that. And yeah, man, I also got another big surprise on January 1st, and merch shop is still coming. Thank y'all for all the support. So look, man, no more talking. What the beautiful single sexy ladies for one child, fellas. Fist bump, you know what it is, man. I'm here now. Yeah, man, just got back. Long flight. Yeah, King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from too, man. And yeah, go subscribe to Torch Talk After Hours. I got so much to say, man. I gotta cut this stuff down. You know what I mean? So let's get. Yeah, my apologies for not dropping the episode this morning. I was tired, man. That was a long flight. But let's get to it, man. Let's do it.
There's been a strange, almost unsettling change in Kendrick Lamar's aura lately. Something slow and undeniably darker. Not the type of darkness that comes from chaos or anger, but the kind that forms when someone stops running from pressure and starts feeding on it. For years, Kendrick's energy centered around internal battles. The wounds he carried, the fears he inherited, the trauma he had spent decades trying to unpack. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was the peak of that journey, almost a public therapy session where he confronted everything from family struggles to spiritual confusion. But somewhere between 2022 and now, that version of Kendrick disappeared. And in his place,
I don't know how I feel about that. And I don't know where he's going with this. I guess we're going to have to watch to find out. But do I believe that Kendrick Lamar has matured towards a darker path? And what I mean by darker, because some people be thinking darker is actually, I mean, yes, the word darker would mean, well, in some terms, it would mean evil. But in this, I guess in this sense, the word darker, in my opinion, could be more stronger. And I think that more darker sometimes is misplaced. I think Kendrick is more aware. As you get older, you get more wiser and you get more aware of certain things. And I think he's definitely more aware. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, to me, was definitely a peak of his awareness and getting past the past traumas that he's been through in his life. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that he's on to something, but I would say that maybe it's a little different than what he's displaying right now or talking right now.
there's a figure who feels colder, sharper, and more dangerous. Not because he's unhinged, but because he's finally unapologetic. You really start to see this shift when you compare the Kendrick who entered the 2024 rap beef to the one who walked out of it. Before the confrontation, he was introspective, restrained, almost reluctant to unleash the full extent of what he was capable of. But the moment the beef ignited, he snapped into a different form, one rooted in assertion, dominance, and almost biblical righteousness. Analysts compared his 4 diss tracks, Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us, to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And
Yeah, they definitely did do that. I seen people doing that. The four horsemen of the apocalypse is kind of weird in a way. Not weird, but the story is kind of crazy if you know about it. The one that fascinates me the most out of them is Death. Because Death, I believe Death comes second. I believe he's second. I think it's second. I'm not sure. But it always fascinates me most because I always ask myself, well, I know Death is the living embodiment of nothing exists after him. But so how is he even an entity? I guess him being Death is the entity. You know what I'm saying? I guess Death is the entity. It's kind of like time, or what's outside of time. Well, time is outside of time because time is time. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, even if it's outside of time, it's still some type of time you're in. Like, I don't know. But always fascinated by Death. But they do compare the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse to this. And it's always like, well, so who's Apocalypse then? You know what I'm saying? If it's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, who's Apocalypse? Apocalypse, we all know what Apocalypse is. Apocalypse is a moral character, but he also is supposed to be the creation of all. You know what I'm saying? That's what the apocalypse is. So I'm guessing that's what this is. So let's keep it going.
It wasn't just a cute metaphor. Each track delivered a different kind of destruction: psychological, strategic, moral, and cultural. It was the first time Kendrick weaponized religious allegory so directly, using it not as a lens to heal the world, but as a framework to judge it. The man who spent years trying to fix his own soul suddenly redirected that intensity outward. He stopped asking himself what was wrong with him and started forcing everyone else to confront what was wrong with them. What makes this shift even more interesting—
I said that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, the reason why most people hate that album, or a good portion of people, not most, because I know a lot of people love it, is because it made you look at yourself. He definitely held the mirror up and showed you that the things that people been doing and made them look at themselves. That's why a lot of people have a problem with that album. That's exactly why, in my opinion.
Is how quickly it became a consistent theme instead of a temporary reaction. Artists sometimes change during a beef, but they usually return to their old persona once the moment passes. Kendrick didn't. His features, his tone, the way he carried himself, everything after the conflict kept that darker, colder edge. Look at his collaborations with Playboi Carti and Clips. These weren't random picks or industry favors, they were deliberate choices. Carti's sound is pure chaos, distorted bass, demonic and violent minimalism. And Kendrick stepped into that world with total ease, matching Carti's darkness with an almost eerie calm. It's like he found comfort in the tension. His feature with Clips carried the same energy, cold, precise, morally heavy. Pusha and Malice rap like judgment is a weapon, and Kendrick slotted into that atmosphere effortlessly, as if he'd been sharpening his own blade for years.
I would say this about Kendrick Lamar. I definitely think that he's in a position now where his words are very powerful. I think that he's in a position, in my opinion, when it comes down to musically, his words can actually move generations right now. and I hate to say this, but Kendrick, well, not even Kendrick, well, let's just say Kendrick is in a powerful position off of his words right now. This is the time where, and I think he's already been this way, but this is the time where he has to be really responsible about what he says. Because you got to understand, people who have power behind what they say, they can shift and move things that you couldn't even imagine. And a lot of times people get upset about that. Let's just say that. Tupac had that aura as well, you know, and it's other artists that had that aura too at some point in their career. But right now, I don't think nobody is even close to having that type of aura that Kendrick has. Nobody.
These features show a clear pattern. Kendrick isn't drawn to warmth right now. He's not chasing brightness, nostalgia, or melodic comfort. He's picking collaborators who sound like the world is ending. The darker the environment, the more at home he seems. But the shift becomes truly undeniable when you look at GNX, the album and tour that dominated 2025. The rollout alone felt different, almost militaristic. It was the kind of rollout you execute only when you're operating with full clarity and zero doubt. And the music reflected that same energy. Kendrick wasn't rapping like someone who's wrestling with his internal demons anymore. He was rapping like someone who had killed them and now understood exactly what he was capable of without them holding him back.
I agree. His Kendrick inflections in his voice now is 100% more demanding than it was before. I think now he's definitely in a position where it's very, very difficult to stop him. Like, the only person I think could stop Kendrick is Kendrick. His vocals, in my opinion, the way he carries himself on the beat in the songs are not like before. Before he was, and don't get me wrong, to me, he has all classics. But this time now, he's much more demanding. It's not like let's put it like this. Before, I believe Kendrick Lamar was a soldier in all of these different albums. I think he was still a soldier trying to find himself. Now he's a leader. Now he's the leader now. So it's different. It's different. The way he talks, the way he moves, the way he strategizes. He strategizes like a leader now. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense.
His verses were more ruthless. His tone was colder. His flows had this calculated sharpness that almost sounded like he was warning the entire industry not to test him again. And the track that captures this new mindset better than anything is Man at the Garden. There's a moment in the song where Kendrick acknowledges that he deserves the success he has, but then he adds a chilling line. The more hate and doubts that come my way, the more blood will be spilt. It's not a threat in the literal sense. Kendrick has never been that type of artist. It's symbolic. It means challenge me, push me, question me, and I'll answer with art that cuts deeper, hits harder, and leaves no survivors in the cultural conversation.
I 100% believe that's what he will do. I think at this point, every rapper weakness is Kendrick Lamar. People could try to dance around it and try to see. The thing is about Kendrick is what I believe Kendrick has over a good portion of artists out here is he's literally an artist. He's literally looking for different ways to do certain things. Artists are comfortable. Most of these rappers and hip hopsters or whatever, they're just comfortable in what they do. He's not comfortable in what he does. He's not. He's more, let's just say, when I say he's uncomfortable, I don't think he's satisfied. I think that he tries to break every glass ceiling he can. He tries to go beyond what you think he can do. This is why all his albums sound different from each other. because he don't try to fit the mold. When we was listening to Turn Up, and we was listening to all these different music, all these different sounds when the hip hop, everybody, all the artists was shifting more towards the younger sound and doing things that what they were doing at the time, whether it's drill, turn up, party, all that. When he said it in, I believe it was in what was that song? I was just talking about the song, but he said no more design shit. Said, it was what's the name? When he said it was no more, I'm not doing no more designer shit, none of that. You know what I'm saying? This is hip hop, niggas know what your time it is. You know what song I'm talking about. I don't know why I was just talking about the song. You know what I'm saying? Control. Yeah, I forget too. But Control. When he said that in Control, I didn't believe him at first until after he said the names. And then I said, oh no, he's serious. I believe now, yeah. He's very, very unsatisfied let's just say he doesn't want to stay complacent. He constantly tries to reinvent or build or do something that I don't think a lot of these artists are lazy. They ain't doing that. There's only one other artist I think tries different things. It was a couple of them, but I think to me, he only one that I believe means it, and that's Royce da 5'9". But Royce da 5'9", I think something happened to him, and his voice or whatever, and he can't really rap no. Well, he can, but I'm waiting for that. But Royce is the only one I think tries to move the needle like Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it going.
It's the clearest sign that he's no longer avoiding conflict. He's using it. Even the way Kendrick presents himself publicly now reflects this shift in energy. He doesn't move like someone trying to hide from the noise or heal from wounds. He moves like someone who has already processed everything and is now simply observing. When you see him in interviews, photos, studios, or even candid clips, there's this stillness to him, a quiet that doesn't feel shy or withdrawn, but intentional. He looks like someone who's watching the entire industry from a distance, studying its patterns, understanding its faults, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. The old Kendrick used to disappear because he needed space to rebuild himself. This Kendrick disappears because he doesn't need validation or attention. His silence isn't avoidance, it's dominance in a more subtle form.
That's a very, very, excuse me, that's a very good point. Kendrick Lamar disappeared. I think now, I don't think he actually disappears now. I think he steps back, and I do believe he does watch. I believe Kendrick Lamar, they see people saying he has a burner account. I do believe Kendrick Lamar is watching. And in some ways, when people say that Kendrick Lamar destroyed hip hop, I can understand why they would say that. But then I look at it from the point of view, well, if he did destroy hip hop, is it for the greater good though? And where are all the artists that are trying to bring hip hop back? But the reason why I say all this is because the reason why people can't bring hip hop back is because they've been following each other for so long that they don't know where to go. He's the only one that stands out. The older artists, yeah, but they ain't doing nothing. They not trying to bring hip hop back. They already lived out their glory days. Let's just say if hip hop is at the end of its run, at least we had Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? To put it in perspective, well, this is where what art is really about. So if y'all hate the way because Kendrick Lamar has done this thing, if y'all hate that, I don't know what to say to y'all. But what can you really say? Even Drake fans though, like people can't say nothing. So we in a dot era, yeah. But what can you really say bad about him? Like, can you really say bad? I had an argument with this one Drake fan. He was telling me, I think Kendrick got better albums. But the thing is, like, Drake is just more exciting. That's what we like. I'm like, Okay.
Fascinating is how this transformation fits into Kendrick's historical pattern of reinvention. Every era has its own philosophy. Good Kid was about storytelling and survival. To Pimp a Butterfly was about revolution and spirituality. Damn was about pressure and judgment. Mr. Morale was about vulnerability and healing. And now, his energy is shifting into a space that feels mythic, apocalyptic even. This isn't a return to the past or a rehash of old themes. It's a new chapter built on everything he has survived. It's rooted in power, self-protection, righteous anger, strategic silence, and a willingness to embrace conflict as fuel rather than as trauma. It's the Kendrick who has finally accepted his place as one of the last untouchable figures in rap. Someone who doesn't need to prove anything, but is more than willing to remind everyone why he sits at the top when the moment calls for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I said that. He's definitely the leader right now. And the reason why a lot of people are so confused, because they can't copy what he does. They can't, because they don't know what he's going to do next. And Kendrick doesn't do trendy things. He does what he does, and it becomes trendy. He don't do, let me do what everybody else is doing. This is why you don't see a lot of these artists not releasing music, or their music is just not hitting like that. Because they're waiting for someone to throw something out there that they can copy so they can ride the wave. He creates waves, but you have to be an experienced wave rider. If you know what I'm saying, for all my surfers out there, you got to be an experienced wave rider. If you can't ride the wave, you're going to wipe out. And I like that. That's what it is. They all got wiped out. Even Drake. Drake's trying his hardest to come up with something. People not feeling it. Because he's been doing the same formula for so long that he thinks that that's what everybody wants to hear. The thing about music is it's subjective and it transforms. Kendrick Lamar knew that since Good Kid, Mad City. That's why he did To Pimp a Butterfly. Every one of his albums doesn't fit the mold of what was going on at that time. So that makes it a classic because it's still around. Like, people be thinking that you gotta be like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to these albums and everybody's gotta sound like this. Like, can't capture that sound. And he wasn't trying to do drill and all this stuff. Like, no. I think Kendrick's next album is gonna be a pure boom bap hip hop album. That's what I believe. It's gonna have a point to it, but it's gonna be more East Coast based, I believe. I believe his next album's gonna be more East Coast based. Like, it's gonna be like, maybe he'll get somebody, like, because I think that Kendrick knows he's not responsible. And I'm glad he said he's not your savior. He's not responsible, but he knows the state where hip hop stands. I think he's definitely gonna do something different.
And that's why this dark shift doesn't feel like an act or a temporary phase. It feels like the next evolution of who Kendrick Lamar is. Not the wounded artist trying to heal. Not the reluctant genius trying to escape expectations. Not the prophet carrying the burden of the world. But a focused, sharpened version of himself who's ready to step back into the light only when he decides the world deserves another chapter. This dark shift isn't about negativity. It's about clarity. It's about a man who's fully aware of his power and no longer interested in softening it. And for fans, both old and new, this version of Kendrick is irresistible because it feels inevitable. It feels earned. It feels like the final form of someone who has survived the wars, internal and external, and come out on the other side with no fear left. Kendrick Lamar has always been evolving, but this time the evolution feels different. It feels heavier, more confident, more dangerous in the best way possible. And as he steps deeper into this energy, the rest of the industry is going to have to adjust. Because Kendrick isn't just preparing for another artistic era, he's preparing for a takeover built on precision, purpose, and a darkness that doesn't consume him, but strengthens him. And whether the world is ready or not, this is the Kendrick we're getting. The one forged in conflict, the one who no longer apologizes, the one who embraces the storm instead of running from it, the one who understands that sometimes darkness isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. So anyways, if you guys love videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe.
That was a pretty interesting video. I like that. That was pretty good. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm fully awake now. I was kind of tired still, but I'm awake now. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting video. I like that. Definitely gonna tag him in the video. I don't know if that was AI or not, but you know, sometimes it is. No, actually, that's not AI. I believe that's a real person. But you never know nowadays. I'll be seeing videos. I'll be like, this is AI. And it'd be AI and it looks absolutely real. Yeah, yeah, I definitely think that Kendrick Lamar is definitely on a different path in putting things into perspective that is a little bit different from, or a lot different from what we usually see from artists. These artists are, like I said, they're not really artists. They're just money-making machines for the industry. That's it. He's an artist. A lot of these people, even all the way up to Drake, people call Drake an artist, but I'm like, well, how is he? Well, you know, I'm not even going to get into all that. I'm just going to say they're not artists like Kendrick. I think that he does things differently, and this is the reason why he's in the position he's in. And I'll tell y'all right now, the copycats will never survive, man. I mean, that's why when I was growing up, I always tell stories. When I was growing up, I used to know how to draw really well. Like, I know if I get back into it, it's kind of riding a bike. But I was a really good artist. Like, I used to draw comic books. And I realized that I wasn't that good in the beginning because I was tracing all the time. Or I was trying to copy what I seen, and I had visions in my head of other artists like Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Greg Capello's, Todd McFarlane, all of these dudes, and I wanted to be like them. You know what I'm saying? I was drawing like them. And I realized that I had to create my own lane. So I started drawing, and it didn't come out. At first, it didn't come out the way I like it because I wanted to look like Todd McFarlane. I'm like, I gotta look like Todd. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I look like Todd? And I realized that these dudes, the reason why they was in the position they was in, because they developed their own style. And that's what happened in the 90s when it come to hip hop. The reason why all of those rappers were good, from Wu-Tang to Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem. Well, Eminem came in the late 2000s. I mean, late 90s. But either way, let's just say he came in 99, 97, 98. But let's just say the reason why the legends are so different is because they thrived on, and they went after trying not to sound like other people. You know, the whole thing was you're biting my style. You can't bite my style. You know what I'm saying? But now I think rappers try to sound like each other because it's the new sound. It's like, what is the new sound? Oh, can you do that sound? That's what people are more into. Kendrick is like, well, you can't never do my sound. And people are like, oh, I seen a dude who rapped exactly like Kendrick, but it's not going to go anywhere. It was some dude I seen he was doing a freestyle. Somebody was clowning him, actually. He sounded exactly like Kendrick. It's crazy. But I was going to actually do a reaction to it too, but I forgot the video. So, but yeah, man, that's a good video. Tell me what y'all think. You know what I mean? Y'all think Kendrick Lamar has he's on a different path of darkness, or, you know what I mean? And does he have to be more responsible now more than ever when it comes to his words? All right, I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace, bye.